Shalom, shalom. All right, let me get straight into this lesson. But I was meditating on something through the spirit, and I was, I think why people have so much trouble, right, dealing with the scriptures and comprehending and interpret them, because they don't understand that the Bible covers everything, right, and they don't understand the terminology, the ancient terminology, and the prophets would use this ancient terminology in the time frame that they was born in, and the things, the objects that they knew of, to explain these visions, right? And the men would come back, the prophets would come back in this lifetime to be able to give the elect the understanding, right? So on and so forth. And you have teachers like myself, you got men of the Lord, and so on and so forth. That we, the spirit is on us to discern these things so we can teach the elect, if that makes sense. I'm just keeping it very simple. So the interpretation of the scriptures is, if you don't have the spirit on you, is you can't do it. It's not going to happen, right? Because he only gave the understanding, all right, to his men that he set up to teach. That's the best way I can explain it to you, right? So prior to you waking up or understanding, all right, the truth, you was oblivious to what the Bible is really talking about. Like, for one instance, right? You think the Most High didn't know anything about America being created, right? The military, the wickedness, us being in captivity in America. You think that escaped the Most High understanding, that he didn't know nothing about that? You got to be insane, and that's why the disconnect comes in, because people think the Bible is this ancient book, right, that was done away with, right? They just read it, right, to reflect back on or whatever. They got different agendas why they read the Bible. All right. It's like a chore. It's like a task to some people. Some people do it so they can say, right, they read the Bible, right? It's just different extremes. All right. But the Bible is talking about the past, present, and the future, right? They go to show you Christians out of your mind, because you think the Bible is a warm and fuzzy book. You think the Bible is a song and dance. You think the Bible is a feel good thing, right? And go to show you that is the Bible, the truth and the veracity of it is full of lamentation, mourning, and woe, and prophecies, right? So when the prophets would Salakia explain these visions, they would use ancient terminology. The terminology, the words that they would use were the words that they were familiar with at their time frame. A missile was not created yet, so they wouldn't know the terminology of a missile. They would use things, objects that they knew of at their time frame, to explain these future events, if that makes sense. Like, they would take something, like, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. First off, let me get into this scripture. Isaiah 46 and 10. It says, declaring the end from the beginning. So the Most High is far out there. He's above the strength and the comprehension of our mere mortal mind. Right now, with the spirit, we can understand things of the Lord. Not entire though. And just a speck, right? It says declaring the end from the beginning. So when the Lord, right, created the beginning, and he used the angels and Yahweh Shah to do this. He just gave them the blueprint. He had an end and a beginning when he created everything in the beginning, right? So when he created everything in the beginning, his master plan, right, his blueprint, so you can get it, was already decreed for at the end, at a particular time, at a particular way, all right, prophetically. And all these things will play out in different lifetimes, right? Different kingdoms. That's how far out the Most High is, declaring the end from the beginning. So when he created the beginning, he created the end. It says, and from the ancient times, the things that are not yet done. This is future prophecies, right? That's what we come in at. It says, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasures. So whatever the Lord has said and decreed is going to happen exactly how it's going to happen. That's why we're confident about when we go into the scriptures and teach our people. It's going to happen. It ain't no doubt. It's just a matter of time. Now, if someone lose patience, or they don't have the faith that's sufficient enough to get them over, that's been elect, that's on them. That's the Most High set them up to be a 2/3. It says Romans 11 and 33. It says, oh, the debt of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge. And they're going to show you that how people don't even know really how the Most High operates. He's about wisdom and knowledge. And when you go into these definitions, they're very vast. And knowledge within itself, you can't be ignorant. You can't be stupid. You can't be simple minded dealing with the Lord, right? It keeps your mind stable, all right? Keep your mind, all right, from being all over the place. It says, how unsearchable are his judgments. And they go to show you that's another thing that lose the understanding of these Christians and people that's outside of this truth. They don't understand the Lord does judgment. He kill, he make alive, right? He wound, he heal. He created the good and the evil, right? And you tell a Christian that they'll bug out on you. They'll think you straight from Satan himself, right? Not understanding that the Lord creates everything. He even controls Satan. It says, in its ways past finding out. It's beyond the strength and comprehension of our mind, literally. So let's get back into this point right here. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And once you understand this, it'll be able to help grow your understanding vastly, knowing the ancient terminology, what these things meant, and how can it be applied today. That's a whole nother study. All right, second address. Let me start at 16. Let me just get straight to the point. 13. It says, for strong his right hand that bendeth the bow. So it's an analogy being made here, right? But it's something deeper going on. It says his arrows that he shooteth are sharp. What is this talking about? Is this talking about a literal arrow being shot out of the bow? All right, and shall not miss. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So we got to break this down, right? So let me show you something with the prophet, with Ezra was seeing in this vision, right? So he used the first off, he used the analogy of a bow and arrow because when these missiles are shot, all right, from silos or shot from ships, right, of submarines, wherever they shot from, they are launched out. They are shot out with a force, right? Like the same thing as you pull back a arrow on a bow, right? How it's propelled out of that bow, right? That's how a missile is propelled out of these silos, off a ship, ship, submarine, wherever they are launched from, if that makes sense. And an arrow looks like a missile by shape. If you look at this, There's nothing is a coincidence, right? So this would be a dark sand for a missile. So if you look at the shape and the design of the arrow, it looks exactly like a missile. Let me show you, right? It's like you right here. It's the same thing. And Ezra, another thing that you have to understand, that there was no such thing as no missile at this time. Like pursuant to the book of Joel, Joel was talking about missiles as well. The prophets saw the destruction, right? But they would use ancient terminology. The prophets actually saw missiles being shot over here in Babylon, America, and destroying it. They saw that in these visions, right? Some prophets. And they would use ancient terminology, ancient things, objects that they knew at that time to describe what they were seeing because that missile had not been created yet. It has not the name missile was not used in that fashion, right? So again, you have to understand biblical terminology, ancient terminology, to really understand the Bible. Let's go back here. Let's go to second address. And I just want to make this real quick example, right? I didn't want to make this too complex. Let me read that again. So second address, and I'm going to go to Joel 2, so I can show you something. 2 and 16. All right, and jump down to 13. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. ICBMs. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. This is a dark sand, right? This is talking about missiles. And I just showed you how an arrow looks, right? And the arrow has the same shape as a missile. And again, Ezra would not know what a missile was because this was a future prophecy that they would see these visions, right? And they would use the objects and the things that they know of at their time to describe these things. 14, it says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. Right? So it's going to show you it's talking about something deeper. Let's go to 15. It says the fire is kindled. So whatever these things are, these arrows, they come with fire, right? Destruction, right? And shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Well, there you go. All right. 16, like as an arrow which is shot, is giving you an analogy right here of a mighty archer returning not backwards. So once these missiles are shot into the atmosphere, right, into the heavens, which the heavens, one of the definition of the word heaven means the sky, all right? Every time you see the word heaven, it's not talking about the abode of the Most High. Most of the time it's dealing with things in this world, right? Like you got somebody in a heavenly state, right? You got somebody in a hellish state. They mean you're in heaven, you live in a good life, right? They even got this figure of speech called hog heaven. That mean you in good case, right? And we're in our hell, which means a condition, right? And it means the grave or a pit. All right, 16, like an arrow that which is shot of a mighty archer, return not backward. Even so, the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth and shall not return again. Right? So this talking about missiles. Let me show you this real quick. It says right here, Wikipedia or Wikipedia. It says arrow, missile family. You can't make this up. Why is this word arrow here? Right? This all through the spirit. So let me show you something else. Let me show you one more thing. Let's get into this Joel 2 and 3. I'm going to explain to you what's being said here. The book of Joel 2 and 3, it says a fire devoured before them. Right? So when these missiles hit, it's like a fire, a consuming fire, right? Like an explosion. That's what he's trying to explain here. It says a fire, a fire devoured before them. That's talking about an explosion. It says, and behind them a flame burned. That's talking about a missile when it's shot. It has that rocket propulsion behind it, that fire behind it, right, to get it to its destination. It says the land is as the Garden of Eden, like a paradise before them, right, and behind them desolate wilderness. So once they hit their target, it's going to be desolate, right, nothing, right, yea, and nothing shall escape them, right. So that's one of these things, right, that's can be hard to be understood, right. That's why 2 Peter 3 and 16, right, some things are hard to be understood. Those that unlearned, right, and unstable rest because they have not the understanding and rest, destruction on the scripture, so they don't know what's going on, right. So understanding that thing, that ancient terminology is used, right, like for instance, like let me show you one more instance. All right, so let me hit this real quick. Revelation 6 and 6. It says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou not hurt the oil and the wine. So let's just deal with something simple. So you look at this word penny, you thinking it's talking about a penny. In today's time, that ain't what it's saying. And that's why you have to look words up as well. You have to know a little this and a little that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of vast. Let me let this pull up real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, so let me go to this word penny. It says for a penny. It says a measure of wheat for a penny. So that's really going into like inflation. But I'm gonna show you what this means. So this is called a denarius. It says containing 10. All right. Matter of fact, let me get straight to the point. Give me 1 second. All right, so right here, it says it was the principal silver coin of the Roman Empire. From the parable of the laborers in the vineyard, it would seem that a denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wage. So they don't mean a penny, right? Like a penny as we know. It's talking about a silver coin in the day's wage of silver coin. Right. Hopefully this lesson was edifying. Call Hala Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Chakwadash. Shalom.